Starkiller's Helmet, the Rakatan species, and more Andor references and Easter eggs. Who knew we'd be talking about this by episode 4? I say that as showrunner Tony Gilroy previously went on record saying that the series wouldn't be doing fan service.
You agreed to stay away!
I lied.
And again, the 4th episode seems to have thrown that stance out the window just a little bit. Luthen Rael, played by Stellan Skarsgård, appears to have all of Andor's Easter eggs in his store on Coruscant. Seriously, we'll dive in and see what this man has in store, literally. Spoiler warning. Greetings my young Padawans, my name is Captain Jack and welcome to Star Wars Now. Before we jump into the video, use the force and hit that subscribe and like button to never miss a video from myself and the team here at Star Wars Now. As always, if you're talking about Star Wars, we want to hear about it. Get commenting. So, Starkiller's Helmet. Watch closely during Mon Mothma's visit to Luthen Rael's store and you'll spot a handful of Easter eggs. Before we dive into the others, we've got to talk about the elephant in the room. Starkiller's Helmet. Many remember Starkiller, aka Ghorman Massacre, being the main character from the video game Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Several fans of Andor spotted the helmet on the suit of armor in Luthen's store, and proceeded to post on social media about it. This is an odd choice of Easter egg to include, and as we mentioned, it goes against showrunner Tony Gilroy's stance on fan service when it comes to the series of Andor. The actual armor and helmet are known as the Sith Stalker armor. It's typically a type of armor but was cybernetically grafted to the wearer, covering the entire body except for the subject's arms. Design inspiration was taken from the Mandalorian and UVC armor. Not the Mandalorian by the way, just a man, you get what I mean.
You had such promise. You could have been my successor, my equal. But now...
You're listening to the Grand Army of the Republic broadcast, the voice of the Outer Rim. This next one goes out to the mutt jumpers of the 224th, slugging it out on Mimban. Keep your heads down and your seals tight.
Andor reveals that he fought in the Mimban Campaign. The planet of Mimban was the site of many engagements over the history of the Star Wars galaxy. The exact Mimban Campaign reference took place around 10 BBY, with Cassian Andor mentioning to Luthen that he had fought in the Mimban when he was 16, therefore 5 years before the series of Andor takes place. Whether this is the same campaign or a different one Andor took part in is unknown, or rather Han Solo should I say. Speaking of Solo, the campaign was shown in Solo a Star Wars story, with Han Solo stationed there and eventually meeting Chewbacca and Tobias Beckett's crew. Mimban was also mentioned in the Clone Wars, a radio broadcast which we just featured at the start of this video, with the 224th Division of Clone Troopers being stationed there, fighting off a droid army.
Hey, Beckett! You said we were here to pull a quick job! Yeah! Well, this ain't a quick job, it's a war!
During a conversation between Mon Mothma and her husband, Perrin, Mothma mentions Ghorman, a planet located in the galaxy's colonies region along the Rimmer trade route. It seems this isn't the first time we've heard this planet mentioned, and it's critical to Mon Mothma herself. The planet would become a site of a Ghorman Massacre in 2 BBY, where troops of the Galactic Empire slaughtered peaceful protesters on the planet. While some would survive, word of the massacre eventually reached Senator Mon Mothma. She publicly blamed Emperor Palpatine for the attacks on the innocent inhabitants of Ghorman. This promoted the Galactic Empire to capture and silence her, triggering Operation Handoff, which saw the rebels of the Phoenix Squadron deliver the now exiled Senator to Dantooine, where she would make her rebellion speech, therefore officially declaring open rebellion against the Empire.
I name the Emperor himself for ordering the brutal attacks on the people of Ghorman. This massacre is proof that our self-appointed Emperor is little more than a lying executioner.
I've been called a traitor for speaking out against a corrupt galactic senate. A senate manipulated by the sinister tactics of the Emperor.
Despite Imperial threats, despite the Emperor himself, I have no fear as I take new action to fight for you, not from the distant halls of politics, but from the front lines, until we restore our republic. Are you with me?
Talking of Mon Mothma and her husband, they're having a dinner party of guests such as Sly Moore, Ars Dagnor, and Navisa, presumably Mas and Meda. Also, we've had rumours about Mas showing up, so stay tuned. These are all close confidants of Emperor Palpatine, with Mas and Meda being the man who shouts "Order" during the prequels, and Sly Moore also sat beside the then Chancellor. Ars Dagnor, however, was mentioned in the Imperial sourcebook from 1989, and recently in James Luceno's Tarkin novels. It is believed he is one of the aides attending to Palpatine during Return of the Jedi, seen in that clip there. The story of Luthen Rael is a realm of Easter eggs from the Star Wars universe. While we've covered a big obvious one, what about the others? Well, for starters, he does appear to have some Mandalorian armor, at least a breastplate. I saw some theorize this might be gathered during the Great Mandalorian Purge, otherwise known as the Night of a Thousand Tears. However, that event has not happened yet, so it's not possible. Additionally, a Twi'lek Calicori is on display. This is not Harrison Dooley's exact Calicori, but rather someone else's. Perhaps another well-known Twi'lek of importance.
To defeat an enemy, you must know them. Not simply their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art.
Also, a Gungan warrior shield can be spotted in the background. These were seen during the Battle of Naboo, where the Gungan warriors used them against the battle droid forces of the Trade Federation. Luthen also appears to have ancient stone pieces related to the Mortis gods, seen when his assistant, Claire Markey, is distracting Mon Mothma's driver with a collection of 14,000-year-old coins. They're very expensive. The stones are to the pair's right, depicting the hand of a father, the fist of a son, and the hand of a daughter. Where Luthen acquired this artifact is unknown. A similar painting was seen in Star Wars Rebels, where the Jedi Ezra Bridger would use a keystone to activate a Force portal located and connected with the painting, allowing him to visit a world between worlds. However, it's too early in the timeline for this to be the same painting of the Mortis gods. Therefore, Luthen likely acquired it somewhere else, and maybe he doesn't know the potential or meaning behind it. A nice little detail is that frozen in carbonite in the background of Luthen's sword seems to be a whip. This is presumably a reference to Indiana Jones and his iconic whip. Star Wars and Indiana Jones have mentioned each other numerous times, due to both being made by Lucasfilm, such as nods to R2-D2 and C-3PO in hieroglyphics in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and even the Ark of the Covenant appearing in the Clone Wars. Now, I had one other theory, by the way. While this could be related to Indiana Jones, it could also be a Zygerian slaver whip, which was seen during the Clone Wars. If we find the footage, we'll put that on screen now, but you might remember these episodes. The Rakata species are mentioned by Luthen. He hands over a necklace to Cassian Andor as a down payment. This necklace appears to be a valuable artifact, likely a part of Luthen's collection, though he does store it on himself. The importance of it is it's related to the Rakatan invaders. The blue Kyber stone Sky Quati signet was made to celebrate the uprising against the Rakatan invaders. The Rakata were an ancient species in the Star Wars galaxy, that once ruled over most of the known worlds via the Infinite Empire. Eventually the species became extinct due to the dark side of the Force and other factors. We'll be exploring more of the species in a dedicated video, so stick around for that one. Speaking of the Quati signet, by the way, Quati may reference the species, or rather humans, who actually live at Kuat Drive Yards, i.e. the founders of the most famous shipyards in Star Wars. They are human by nature, so not another species, but you get what I mean. The planet of Scariff is mentioned in Imperial Security Bureau meeting. It's mentioned by Officer Lonnie Jung, who has requested additional protection for the O'Brien sector. He's requested this additional protection due to the increasing construction shipments directed towards Scariff, located in the O'Brien sector. No points for guessing what's being built. Yep, the Death Star is being constructed on Scariff. Originally, the station was built around Geonosis, but following attacks on shipping lanes, the station was moved to Scariff. To protect the project, the Empire wiped out the entire Geonosian species, seen in Star Wars Rebels. This isn't the only planet mentioned during the ISB meeting, with the planets of Ryloth, homeworld of the Twi'leks, and even Varala 6, which presumably is the neighbor planet of Varala 7 in The Mandalorian. So, that was definitely a large amount of Easter eggs in episode 4 of Star Wars Andor. For a series that was built not to have fan service or Easter eggs or references, we've certainly got a ton. So maybe Tony Gilroy was just pulling our leg and maybe pushing us away from that in a sense. However, I personally think he likely meant big characters turning up. Like, we're not going to be getting Ahsoka Tano in Andor. It doesn't really make sense. But never say never at this rate with Lucasfilm. I think what he means by fan service is that a character, for example like Bail Organa, is likely to show up because he's related to Mon Mothma in her time during the Imperial Senate, and also the early days of the Rebellion. However, someone like Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't really have a point to show up just yet. So maybe that's what he means when it comes to fan service. However, I think the Star Wars universe can be enriched by little Easter eggs like this, as only uber nerds like us and you watching this, or if you're new by the way, actually know what these Easter eggs mean, or now you know, and that's where sort of the amplification comes from. We're not overdoing of giant Easter eggs, we're just celebrating what's fun and having fun in the Star Wars universe. Okay, Exalted Ones, that's it for myself on Star Wars Now. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with the latest Star Wars news, lore, and more. You can also follow us on social media as well, but make sure to let us know what you think in the video comment section below, because if you're talking Star Wars, then we want to hear about it. That's it for myself today on Star Wars Now. I've been Captain Jack, and we'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.